Hey there everybody, and today I want to talk to you about self-esteem. Hey there everyone, my name's Dave, aka Mindset by Dave, and I have been a mindset and mental health coach for the past 4.5 years, helping people with whatever it is that gets them stuck up here. As well as making videos here on YouTube, I also stream live on twitch.tv/mindsetbydave every Tuesday from 10 AM till 4 PM for a mental health drop-in chat, and every Saturday night from 7 PM till 10 PM for a bit more of a variety stream. And on top of that, we've got the Discord, which you can find a link to below if you want to come along, talk mindset, mental health, personal development, and all of that jazz. Anywho, on with the content. So before we get into the answer for self-esteem, I want to ask you a question first. Where does your self-esteem come from? Who do you look to for your self-esteem? And maybe even think back through your life to think about who you've looked for your self-esteem from at various points in your life. If I'm honest about this, probably started off with my parents, then maybe I had an older sibling, so maybe looking to him for a little bit of approval. Then definitely teachers. There was one teacher in particular in college that I really wanted his approval. And then even after I'd actually become an adult and was out in the workplace, I wanted the approval of supervisors, of managers. And then going back to university, I wanted the approval of the coaches and the teachers and the lecturers, and then the coaches I've had professionally. And this all went on until about 4 years ago, when I realized something that is obscenely obvious once you click on it. All of those places were external. Zero of them was myself. And what is the first part of the word self-esteem? Self. It has to start with us. See, when we outsource our self-esteem to other people, that's not self-esteem, that's just esteem. And the problem is with that is it becomes somewhat of a drug. It gives you that immediate high when you get that compliment or that approval, the pat on the back, whatever it might be. You get that fix, and then you go back to looking and wondering how to get your next fix of that self-esteem. You go back to thinking, how can I please these people in order to actually get that compliment again? What do I have to do next? And we usually up the ante and try harder and do more and be better and all of that stuff. And it just keeps on going on, like any other drug addiction. It takes more of the initial hit to give you that fix. Now, I'm not going to sit here and throw the cliched line at you of, if you don't love yourself, no one else can ever love you, because that's not true. However, a variation on that, which is, if you don't love yourself, you'll never be able to truly accept that other people already love you, is a little bit closer to home. Because ultimately, if we're not loving and accepting of ourselves and we're constantly outsourcing that self-esteem to other people, what does the brain do when those compliments stop coming? We don't assume, we don't sit there with a smile on our face all day long assuming that people are out there thinking wonderful things about us, and if you do, you're probably a very happy person. No, we sit there and we think, oh, they probably don't think very much of us, they probably don't think I'm very good, everybody hates me, nobody likes me, I'm such an annoyance, and the list goes on. We have this ongoing assumption when we've not got self-esteem nailed that whenever we're not actively doing something to earn that self-esteem, that our self-esteem bank balance or our value to that person is diminishing. Let me ask you a quick question on this. If you've ever enjoyed any of my videos, does the value of them stop the second that you move on to the next clip? Anything that I've ever helped you with, does the value of that stop the second I've finished saying it? It doesn't. It carries on for you, and you might actually even go on to tell somebody else about something you've learned from my channel or something you've learned from me. And that's cool. The value continues to go forward. But we need to accept that that's happening, because the person out there that's got to decide on your value is you. Let me ask you another question. For your friends, think of a loved one, like maybe your best friend, a parent, a child if you've got them, and ask yourself the question, what does it take for that person to be good enough in your eyes? Where's the line? Where's the level? Now, I'm going to go as far as to say the majority of you just think, actually, the person just is good enough. They're good enough just as they are. And that's cool. However, if I now ask you, what does it take for you to be good enough in their eyes? Where's the level now? Is it fair to say that we've got an easily attainable level for your friends to be good enough in your eyes? But your concept of what it takes for you to be good enough in their eyes is a lot more difficult to achieve. And that's if we only take trying to be good enough for one person. What if you've got 10 different people in your life where you think they all want different things from you and you can't meet all of those needs at the same time? Does that mean that you're never good enough because you can't please everybody? And this is why it has to come back to you being good enough for you. You actually setting one set of standards as to what it means to be good enough in this world. Not picking and choosing 40 different sets of standards from all over the place and trying to live up to all of them at the same time. What are the values that you find the most important? And what can you do to live up to those values? That's the question we need to be asking. Now, one of the big conundrums we have on all of this is that we've been brought up to be humble. We've been brought up to not brag, not boast, not show off. So it's actually really hard for us to give ourselves that self-esteem, to sit there and say, I am good enough. What I'm doing is good enough. I am proud of myself for the things that I do and the person that I am. It's very hard to say those things to ourselves because it's been ingrained into our personality that, well, you can't say those type of things about yourself. Now, our parents didn't have those intentions when they told us not to show off. They just didn't want us out there boasting in other people's faces. Unfortunately, we seem to default into self-deprecation and just beating ourselves up. And let me tell you, that has kept you down for a long, long time. I like to think of self-esteem as somewhat of a bank balance. Every time we beat ourselves up, we withdraw from that bank balance. Every time we build ourselves up, we put into that bank balance. If you're perfectly honest right now, what is the balance? What's the balance between you putting yourself down and taking credit out? So the balance between you giving yourself a compliment, being happy with yourself, feeling like you are good enough. It's a rhetorical question because chances are if you've got this far through the video, you're not just watching it to see what some random dude on the internet has to say about self-esteem when yours is perfectly intact. You're here because you want a bit of help with that, and that's fine. I was exactly the same until a few years back. I would constantly beat myself up and I would constantly put myself down because in my head I thought that's the way to become better. But we've got an expression for that in my community, which is we don't guilt ourselves into greatness. Because the thing is, when you beat yourself up and you put yourself down, you don't feel like doing the things. You don't feel like you're actually capable of doing the things. And as a result, even when you actually try, you've got it in your head that it's automatically going to fail, so you don't really go for it. And as a result, well, whilst trying to guilt yourself and feeling rubbish along the way, we never actually reach those goals. On the flip side to that, actually bigging yourself up, believing in yourself, and actually complimenting yourself on your ability to do these things makes you actually not only capable of working harder, but enjoying the whole process a whole lot more. The most unexpected thing happens when you believe that you are good enough to begin with. You just automatically happen to get even better. Because instead of resisting every step along the way, you take them with confidence, and as a result, the results come pouring in. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to start paying into that self-esteem bank balance by giving yourself some compliments. Start taking stock of the things that you're already happy about in your life. Start taking stocks of the things that you can do that you're already proud of for yourself. And think about it. It's such a cliche, but it's a cliche that bears repeating. Speak to yourself how you would a friend. Because again, if that's how you're getting your self-esteem, by waiting for a friend to tell you something good about you, then you actually know already how to make you feel good about you. Speak to yourself in that same way. Big yourself up, don't beat yourself up. And over time, with a bit of practice, because it is going to feel a little bit weird at first, you'll slowly but surely start to actually believe in yourself more, have self-esteem more, love yourself more. And then it becomes this lovely little positive reinforcement cycle, because as you believe in yourself more, love yourself more, and feel like your value is greater, you start acting that way too. Give it a whirl and let me know how you get on. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this content, and if you have, please hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. These things are priceless to you, but they are priceless to me. And once again, if you want to come and talk to me live about any of this stuff, twitch.tv/mindsetbydave every Tuesday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. and every Saturday from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. And I would love to go a little bit deeper with you. I'll see you soon.